know if I want to do that yet. Okay, so welcome in, welcome in. This is Anxiety and the Anxious Brain. This class, hey Turtle, this class is going to be, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Locke. I hope it's okay for me to say that. I'll just be, shortening everybody's name. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this one as well. But this is Anxiety and the Anxious Brain, and tonight we are focused on, okay, cool. We're focused on the many phases of anxiety. So I want to say week 1, I talked about just briefly different types of anxieties. So tonight we're going to kind of go over those a little bit more in detail. Okay. But before we get started, hello, Stephanie. Before we get started into the actual lesson of the evening, I wanted to do a brief recap of last week. And we're going to have a little mini quiz, if y'all are okay with that. I hope so, because you are superstars. So listen, we're going to go ahead and do our review, a mini quiz, if you will. And I want you all to type in the chat, the responses, the answer to these questions. Hey, Jayla. I hope I said that right. But yeah, I want you to type in the chat your responses. Also, I would love for you to, as you type in the chat and you respond to the questions, tap the screen and give us some hearts so I can know that this is good information. Let me know if you all can hear me. I could have sworn I put my stuff on Do Not Disturb and that call came through. Let me know if you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Because I know sometimes when you get a call, it'll just throw you all the way off. Let me just make sure I'm on Do Not Disturb again. Okay. All right. So let's get started. We're going to do the review. So last week, we talked about 2 specific structures in the brain that have a lot of contribution to our anxiety. We even gave one of them a nickname. What 2 structures did we talk about last week? Anybody can answer. You can put both. You can put one that you remember. I just want to see where we are. Kind of test what we're learning. What 2 structures in the brain did we talk about last week that had a lot to do with our anxiety? Yes, Amy. Come on, Jayla. Amy. Amy is short for what? Anybody? Amygdala. Yes. And our prefrontal cortex. Absolutely. Y'all got it right. I need to get that little sound thing with the clapping hands, but I'm going to do it for you, okay? So we talked about the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex last week. So, and we call amygdala Amy. And amygdala she has another nickname. She's the what of the brain when it comes to our anxiety. Anybody can answer. Amygdala, she's known also to us. We named her in this class as a what? She is the alarm. Yeah. She had a more modern day kind of term. She's a guardian, sure. Absolutely. That's our protector. Someone in the chat last week said she's the drama queen. Because Amy is definitely a drama queen. Because she'll go off for no real reason. It doesn't have to be a real threat. Remember? It doesn't have to be a real danger. Fight or flight. We did talk about fight or flight. She's responsible for that. And it's fight, flight, or freeze. And there's another trauma response that starts with F. I'm going to talk about it probably. It's called fawning, but that's something else. But fight, flight, or freeze, Amy is good for it. She is our drama queen. She is our guardian. She is our protector. That is our alarm system. But she will see a stick on the road and automatically think it's a snake without checking it out. Now, who checks out the situation? Who kind of determines what's really going on? Anybody? Y'all already named it. So I'll go ahead and say, I'm trying to wait. Yes, come on, Turtle. The PFC, the prefrontal cortex, checks out the situation, try to see what's really going on. Let me see, is this really a threat? That's our reasoning. That's our, executive functioning type stuff. We're really checking out the scene and making sure it is what it is before we overreact. So you pretty much answered the next question. What's Amy's job? Her job is to protect us, to alert us, to keep us on guard. But what happens when Amy overreacts? When the amygdala is overactive, yes, reason. When the amygdala is overactive, that equals what? When the amygdala is overactive, that equals what? You all remember. And if you don't remember and you weren't here, just take a guess. Absolutely. Anxiety. Anxiety. Absolutely. And it could possibly be anger, but constant overreactive amygdalas equal constant anxiety. All right. But can we calm the amygdala? What do you all think? Can we calm the amygdala? Look, I'm giving you the answer, Thompson. Yes, we can. And if does anybody remember, because I'm going to go, absolutely we can. We can calm the amygdala. So she's only doing her job. We don't have to look at our responses to anxiety or our fear responses as a bad thing. Alyssa, look at you. You going ahead of me, but yes, you get a star. Yes, we can calm amygdala. We can practice a couple of things, and 2 things I shared last week. We can talk her off the edge. Yes, we can. Positive thinking about something positive. Absolutely. And I shared 2 specific techniques last week that I want you all to remember and recall. And if you're just joining this week, I will say meditation. Absolutely. I will go over them again. Hey, Anna. So the 2 that we went over last week, and I want to go over them again, and I wanted to do this little review quiz, if you will, so that you can make sure you're retaining the information and so you can be prepared for your final project. So I'm going to go over that tonight too. But the 2 tools that we talked about last week, somebody spoke about it, the 4-7-8 breathing mechanism or the breathing activity. And then what was the other one? Anybody else remember our second one? We did 4-7-8, and we did the 5, yes, the 5 senses. Absolutely. And Jayla, you already know your stuff. We haven't even gotten to that yet, but yes, I think I might have mentioned questioning the thought. But the 2 specific activities we practiced were the 4-7-8 breathing exercise and the 5 senses. Remember those. Keep them in your notebooks. Keep them in your journal. We have to use those and put them in our toolbox as things that we can go to, right, when we're experiencing any anxious feelings or any anxiety symptoms. All right. So let me speak a little bit about that final project, if you will. Basically, all I want you to do is to create a personalized self-care. I need to get this person out of here. Personalized self-care toolkit. Let me see something real quick. I'm sorry, guys. And I gotta know how to do this. I think I just did. I'm sorry. I had to block somebody. Listen, we just want to keep this cool, right? We're trying to get in here. We're trying to learn. We want to know more about anxiety, know more about our own symptoms and how to deal with it. So we don't need any foolishness, and we're not going to take any foolishness. So anyway, your final project is to present and to create your personalized self-care toolkit. So when I say during the lesson, this is a tool, take note of that. I'm telling you, this is a tool. Now, you can find more, but I'm giving you some along the way. Okay? Everybody good with that? Now, we talked about Amy. Let's talk a little bit more about the PFC. What does the PFC do? What's the PFC, or prefrontal cortex? What's its job? Anybody can answer this. What is the PFC's job? We kind of mentioned it earlier. The job of the PFC. If I don't see anybody, I'm going to go ahead and say it myself. Yeah, there we go. Rationalize. It does decision making. Absolutely. Helps us to relax, yes. And it helps to regulate those emotions. Absolutely. Absolutely. The reasoning part. This is our logic center. This is our logic center. It helps us. The PFC walks up to Amy and tell, hey, calm down, chill out. That's a stick. That's not a snake. Or hold on, you don't have to go off yet. We all right. There's nothing. They just said they want to talk. They didn't say you're fired. PFC's job is to help us use reasoning and logic. Okay, and it helps us to calm down. So that's you, Alicia. Like, hold on, they just said they want to talk. We don't even know what it's about yet. Just let's hold up a minute. But that's what our PFC does. Helps us to reason. That's our rational thinker. Let's see. Anything else about the PFC we need to talk about? It also helps us to to pause and to take a moment to figure out what we want to respond instead of just responding, right? Instead of just seeing that text and going straight to the PFC say, hold on, let's take a breath. Let me see first before I just jump out there like that. Okay. Absolutely. It helps us to rationalize. And we can strengthen our prefrontal cortex. We talked a little bit about that as well. The mindfulness. Not you did that today. Well, that's okay. We need to strengthen the prefrontal cortex. Okay. We need to use some mindfulness, some meditation, the couple of exercises that we did last week. And I put them up as a post so you can go back. Come on now, don't crash out. See, PFC keeps us from crashing out. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Good. Because Amy, the one, she's responsible for crashing out. PFC tell us to hold on now. Wait a minute. Let's think about this thing first. But yeah, mindfulness, meditation, some CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, that helps to strengthen the PFC because that gets us into our cognition, into our thinking. Helps us to think about that situation, maybe reframe some of those thoughts. Not yours, overwork. She gets a good workout now, especially when Amy is trying to be overactive. She gets a good workout. But exercise also helps to boost and recharge our PFC. Not as turned down to simmer. Okay, we gotta listen to this, Miss Mia. Strengthen your prefrontal cortex, sweetheart. Mindfulness, meditation, CBT therapy if you need this, right? Exercise boosts the oxygen to our brains, which helps to improve our functioning. Quality sleep, making sure we get some quality sleep. It helps us to recharge and to process our emotions. You see me looking over because I got my notes over here. And then a healthy diet, omega-3s, leafy greens, all of that helps to support overall brain health and brain functioning. So we can strengthen that PFC. Do you remember the key chemicals that are released when I need quality sleep? Yeah. And we could talk about that too, another class, having a sleep routine to help you get into a quality sleep. But some of those key chemicals that are released when we do exercise, even if it's just a 10-minute walk, if it's just 30 to 45 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week, all of this can help. All of this can help. And it releases those, yes, dopamine. There you go. Jayla, you want to come up here and teach this? Because, baby, you be knowing, don't you? I love it. Endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. I talked about GABA, BDNF. All of these are key chemicals that are released when we exercise. And this helps to strengthen, our prefrontal cortex and to calm our amygdala. All right. So I wanted to go over all of those first. And I hope everybody has it. If you don't have the notes if you weren't in last week and you don't have the notes, they're on my page. I kind of post them in a post type of way. So it's not like a sheet of paper that I took a picture of. So just go take a look at those. The class is also there. So you can go and watch them when you have time or just listen. Absolutely, Diva. Because we do have to disconnect. And I've said that in the previous couple of classes. Disconnecting will help us. Because if we're consuming too much, and especially nowadays, if we're consuming too much of what's going on out there in the world, we will get Amy is going to get too frustrated. And she's going to go off. And we want her to stay as calm as possible. Okay? So disconnect, take a walk, meditate. And let me say something about meditating. Some people say, well, I can't meditate. I can't get my brain to stop thinking. Thank you. I can't get my brain to stop thinking. Listen, the object, especially when you first start, is not about getting your brain to stop thinking. You're not going to stop your thoughts. It's just to give yourself a moment to be still. Just to be still and to gradually become an observer of your thought, but not actually engaging with that thought. So if you just sit down and say, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to just breathe, to be still. Oh, now I got the bubble gum. To be still. Thank you. Then give yourself that. Realize that you're going to have a thought. It may be a worry thought. It may be a thought about a responsibility. Because, baby, when I first started, I would always sit down with the good intentions to meditate for a good 15 to 30 minutes, right? And I would sit there and I'd be all positioned and ready. And as I close my eyes and I take in my few breaths, guess what the first thought I had? Because this was back when my kids were younger, so I cooked a lot more. Did I take that meat out? Oh, Lord, is it going to be time? And then I'm just having all these thoughts. Well, I need to wrap this up so I can cook. Or I might have to go to the Kroger. Just all the thoughts, right? Never could do it right. But eventually someone shared with me, listen, don't worry about stopping the thoughts. Be an observer of the thought. And continue to do your exercise. Continue to go back to the breath. So I just wanted to share that about meditation because that is a good way to calm the amygdala and an excellent way to strengthen your prefrontal cortex. Ever since I've been having anxiety. Now, and that could be a medical anxiety because some people get a diagnosis or something medically happens and then it induces this anxious feeling because you're fearful. What if something is wrong with me? Or what if this happens again? These techniques will still work for you. Okay? You still do the exercises. You still talk to your medical professional and see what's really going on. And you address that. But don't just address the physical part without addressing the mental and emotional side of it too. Keep doing the exercises. Who's that? Viesta? Because you're afraid. You don't know if it's going to happen again. But keep using these exercises to relax yourself and calm yourself and reframe the thought. Okay? Reframe the thought. Because it doesn't have to be all or nothing, black and white thinking. That's a lot of what we get into with anxiety as well. Black and white thinking or jumping to conclusions. We don't want to do that. Okay? So today, we went over our little review we talked about last week. Today, we're going to, we're going to talk a little bit more about the different phases of anxiety. So I want to go into detail about some of the diagnoses. Now, I will go into detail about them. Sometimes I end up getting questions about medication. Let me say right now, I don't talk about medication, what you should take, what you shouldn't. I don't do that. That's not my role. I just want to educate you on anxiety, what it looks like for many people. I'm not prescribing. I'm not treating. I want to say that. But there is a creator, Dr. Neka. She's a nurse practitioner. And let me see, I wonder if I can type this in. Do you all know if I can do that? I don't know where I would have to go and do that. But, okay, somebody type this for me. It's at NNEKACHINELODPN. I hope somebody got that. She's awesome. She's teaching on mental health diagnosis. Thank you. Thank you so much. She's teaching on, I'm going to pin this for a second so people can follow her. She's teaching on mental health diagnosis as well as the psychopharmacology of the medications. So I won't give you that information, but she definitely can share about the medications if you're interested in that and you just want some more education around it. She talks about that. So you all can follow her. All right. Now, we're finished with last week. We're talking a little bit about the phases of anxiety. And we want to start with generalized anxiety disorder. This is the what if anxiety, if you will. You're concerned about any and everything. You're welcome. I mean, you said you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. But generalized anxiety, or GAD, GAD, you may see that. It's the what if anxiety. And you're concerned and you're worried about everything. It's pervasive. It could be school, it could be work, it could be home, it could be relationship, any and everything. There's always a constant worry with GAD, with generalized anxiety disorder. There's constant overthinking with this. That's you, goddess. Yeah, everything. Constant overthinking, even the minor things. And now I'm going to explain it this way, but before you just absolutely agree that this is absolutely me, there's still criteria to meet to be, clinically diagnosed, right? And I kind of spoke about that in my first class. Everybody feels anxious at some point, but not everybody is clinically diagnosed. So don't own something right away without knowing, you know what I'm saying? Just deal with the feelings that you have. But yes, GAD is exhausting as hell because it's constant. That excessive worrying, that feeling like you're on edge and you're restless all the time. And you can often have symptoms, physical symptoms like the headaches, the muscle tension, the racing thoughts. All of that happens with generalized anxiety disorder. Some examples, let's say you have a test coming up and you're constantly thinking before that test, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. What if I fail? What if I lose my job? Oh, yes. Anxiety and stress can affect you physically. So, I believe you. Knowing you're not going crazy. Oh, hold on. I just like knowing I'm not crazy. I have no desire to let. Come on. Because you don't have to. You can know what's going on and then you can deal with it. And it definitely can wear you down, Brooklyn. So, yeah, let me move y'all over just a tiny bit. Okay, that's even. So, yeah, that's generalized anxiety disorder. All right. Key takeaway, you feel anxious all the time. This is not like something is happening. There's a situation and you feel anxious about it. Once the situation goes away or is resolved, you're back fine. No. GAD, you wired up constantly. Most days. That's generalized anxiety disorder. And the worst thing, if this isn't even for you and it's about somebody else that you love, you care about, or what have you, just so you can have an understanding. And if this is you, and I say this, and it resonates with you, give me a thumbs up. But the worst thing you can do for somebody who's feeling anxious in this way, especially generalized anxiety disorder, is to say, calm down. You might as well slap them in the face and cuss them out. You can't just say, calm down. Isn't that the truth, Turtle? Don't just say that. Because if it was that easy, don't you think they would have already calmed down? They want that. They want to be able to calm down. So you're not, and I know most people think they're just helping, like, just calm down. It's okay. Calm down. It's okay. They don't feel that. They don't believe that. That is not their reality in that moment. So saying calm down is not about to help. Am I right, Chancey? Okay. That's not about to help. And I know most people are being, they're being good. They think they're being good and doing a good thing, but honestly, it doesn't help. What I think and what I've asked some of my clients, what would you like for people to say? And you all can mention this too. That's when Amy curses you out. Amy goes the hell off. Don't tell me to calm down, right? The fuck? Yeah, she does all of that. But I've asked clients, okay, what would help, And a few clients have said, if people just ask me, how can I help you? What do you need from me? That's better than telling somebody to calm down. That's a result of your autonomic nervous system being high strung. Like you're up there, Ashanti. Was that Ashanti? I don't think that was Ashanti. But you're wired up. We need to activate the parasympathetic nervous system to help you to relax. So you can try to match their breathing well, I'm gonna get into that when we get into panic. But yeah, that people are trying to be helpful, but it's not really helping. So whether that's you experiencing this or somebody who's experiencing experiences this, just think about that. Just remember that. Telling them, oh, just calm down. That's not going to help them to calm down. Okay, Ashanda, you said because usually you just want to talk and then calm down. Right. Taking a breath. Even if they're experiencing this and you say, is it okay? Can we breathe together? They might look at you strange, but that might be more helpful than telling them to calm down, because guess what? This is the other thing about this. This is how I view it. If they're already wired up and they're having all these worry thoughts and they're feeling this stuff and their brain is telling them you need to worry about this, and they can't fight back the brain, the thoughts, and they're feeling this, and I'm coming in and I'm being, you need to calm down. That's just somebody else trying to tell them what to do. And it makes them feel out of control. It's like, you're not helping me by telling me to calm down. I'm already fighting my brain because my brain is telling me I need to worry, I need to be concerned. And now you're telling me something else that I need to do, but I can't do. I can't even calm myself. And you're telling it's a cycle. You understand? Does that make sense? Oh yeah, car accidents, because let me see, your amygdala remembers that incident, right? And it keeps records of your fears, even past fears, and it'll bring it back up for you. I know that's right, Jay. Leave me alone. Let my brain work itself out. Absolutely. Okay, so that is generalized anxiety disorder, guys. All right. Any more? Yes, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the 5 senses. That helps. Yes, asking permission for your role. Would you like for me to listen only? Absolutely. These are ways we can help people who are experiencing. And if it's you that's experiencing this, share that with people that you care about. Either while you're anxious or when everything's okay, share that so they can know how best to help you. Oh, thank you, Esther. I hope it's okay if I just say Esther. Thank you. I'm glad it's hitting for you and it's resonating for you. Now, headaches will come with anxiety. Absolutely. And we'll talk about that some more. Thank you for K Ford. So we talked about generalized anxiety disorder. That is our chronic excessive worry about any and everything. It doesn't have to have a rhyme or reason. It's always going to be there. You always restless. You're on edge. It's constant. Okay? That's the what if anxiety. All right. I'm not going to go into the criteria. I put that in my notes, but I don't want to go over that. I'm going to make this a very long class. And then we have panic disorder. This is another one most people are familiar with. The panic disorder is the sudden storm, sudden storm of anxiety. Oh, hey, Trees. You appreciate when people ask for, yes, ask for permission. It helps. Now, our panic disorder, the sudden storm anxiety, it happens out of nowhere. It's unexpected. It's an intense panic that you can feel in your body. Most people report feeling it in their chest like they're about to have a heart attack. What was after GAD? Oh, panic disorder. I'm on it now, Stephanie. Panic disorder. The sudden storm anxiety, because it comes out of nowhere. And it is scary. That's what I was about to talk about next. It's scary. It feels like you're having a heart attack. You have shortness of breath. Some dizziness, the chest pain. You can either feel like you're having the shortness of breath, or you might feel like you're being smothered. It really feels like a real physical situation. Some people said they felt like they were about to die with this panic attack. Right? Usually it's really intense and it's really scary. And it usually only lasts a few minutes though. But the thing with panic attacks, it triggers, because you can have it without having anxiety in the beginning. Nothing can trigger it. It can just happen. You could be shopping and you have a panic attack. But once that happens, it triggers the anxiety because now you're afraid that you might have another one. Now, that could be exactly what it is, because they happen out of nowhere. Hold on, I want to see what somebody else said. Once you have that first attack, it's so easy to go back into it. Yes, that cycle. That cycle. Because you are afraid. You once that happens to you out of nowhere, like sometimes it's easier to be able to point at a situation and say, okay, that right there stressed me out. But you just in Walmart or wherever you are, and boom, that provokes fear. So now you're anxious because you're thinking, I don't know when that's going to happen again or what even happened. Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to have been dealing with anxiety leading up to it. It just comes. It comes out of nowhere. Yeah, we'll talk about it, Sharon. There, a lot of times, what I share with some of my clients who have had panic attacks or who experience this diagnosis is once you learn what it is and you learn to be present in the moment and just go with that flow, go with the emotion, ride the wave, you're going to get to the other side of that wave, and it's going to get shorter and shorter for you, and you'll know how to take care of yourself. But it takes some time. Definitely seeking therapy, talking to someone, developing coping skills will help with that. Okay. The mindfulness activities, trying to bring yourself to the moment, realize, okay, I know this is feeling like this, but I'm actually okay. There's nothing going on. There's nothing really going on right now. That's called grounding yourself and being present and being in the moment. All right. Oh, Shanti, you having some panic attacks? So let me say this. You can have a panic attack and not have a panic disorder diagnosis. You can definitely have a panic attack and not have the diagnosis, because there are other criteria you must meet to be diagnosed with panic disorder. I know it sounds a little like what, but yeah, that's how that works. And I'm trying not to keep this too long and go through the DSM criteria for it, but there are criteria. Okay. And let me say this, I'm gonna ask y'all. I can talk a little bit about some of the criteria for panic disorder. If you're interested in that, you can give me a thumbs up and let me know, and I'll go over some of them, because I do want to make it clear that you can have a panic attack, an anxiety attack, some people call it, without actually being diagnosed with that. Okay. There are a lot of skills, and I'll have a whole class talking about some more tools, but there are a lot of skills that you can use. A lot of mindfulness, a lot of breath work. I'm talking to Lynn. Mindfulness, breath work, CBT. Medication is an option for some people. Mm-hmm. And absolutely. Your therapist told you a panic attack won't last longer than 50. That's what I'm saying. A panic attack, and it feels like a lifetime. It feels like forever, right? But usually it's just a matter of minutes. It just feels, because where the hell did this come from? And why am I feeling like this? That's what's going on. And it's scary. Because now you can hardly catch your breath. Your chest is hurting. You're wondering what the hell is going on. So it's very scary, but actually it's a matter of minutes. So if you can ground yourself and be in the mind to say, okay, wait a minute, I'm okay. I'm here, I'm present. Yep, reminding yourself that this will end. This will pass. Ride the wave. You just ride that wave, and it's scary. I'm not taking that from anybody. That is scary. But if you just ride the wave, you're going to get on the other side of that emotion, that feeling. Mm-hmm. Okay, so nobody said we're going to move past panic disorder. That was panic disorder. Mm-hmm. Avoidance, that is another, I still haven't turned that thing off. Avoidance is another coping mechanism that people adopt that doesn't necessarily help, because sometimes you won't be able to avoid a situation. And I don't want to go too far in that, but I was responding to you, Lynn, what you said. If you can avoid some things, absolutely. But some things you can't, and then that'll trigger it to keep going. So I want to go into social anxiety disorder. So this one, the everybody's watching me anxiety. That's social anxiety disorder. Now y'all remember these descriptions, because I have a discussion at the end. We're gonna play a little game. Everybody's watching me disorder. or the social anxiety disorder. There's intense fear, judgment, or fear of judgment, embarrassment, or rejection in social situations. So that's how you can remember this one. What is social anxiety disorder? An intense fear of judgment, embarrassment, or rejection in a social situation. Most people, the symptoms that'll show up is avoidance, avoiding social events, avoiding public speaking or meeting new people. And I talked about this one other time. You know how somebody invites you to a party and we always ask, what? Who all gonna be there? We ask that. But some people, when they ask that, they are really dealing with some stuff. So Laklisha, that's the therapist coming out. I would ask what brought that on? What was the onset? If this just started in your older years, what event, what situation, what might, and you can soul search. You can do this yourself. You can journal about it to see what happened to trigger this type of response for me. Was it a situation where I felt judged, embarrassed, or rejected? You can explore that. But those are usually, pull that journal out. Because you learn a lot about yourself when you just take some time with yourself. Ask those questions. And when you're in your journal, you can ask the questions and you can answer honestly because nobody's looking at your journal judging you. Now, you might judge yourself. We do that, But no judgment, no critique, just putting it out there, you'll learn a lot about yourself. Danielle, you thought that was only being introverted. I don't know. Could it be? Now, if there's a fear, like an intense, I'm not talking about, I don't know, I'm a little embarrassed. No, an intense fear of being judged, being rejected, being embarrassed, then we might be talking about social anxiety disorder. Now, there are, again, other criteria to meet this diagnosis, but just giving you an idea of what this diagnosis is. Somebody said sweating. I was talking about some of the symptoms. The sweating, the blushing, shaking, stuttering while you're in that social situation. Those are some symptoms of social anxiety disorder, SAD. Maybe not always. It may not be something that I'm answering Lindsay. It may not be something that you consider traumatic, but it may have been something that happened that affected or impacted the way you view social situations again. Like if you were defining trauma, you may not, in your definition, define that event as traumatic. But it could have been something that happened that caused you to start viewing social situations in a different way and being fearful. But again, Lindsay, that's something to explore. You can explore that either by yourself with your journal, or you can talk to your therapist if you have one about it. General and social is caused due to autism, ADHD. So it could have been there all along, right, Zuki? It could have been there all along. And maybe we've been masking, because a lot of times I feel like we do mask some of these symptoms. We mask and we do what we have to do. And let me say this, especially in my community. And when I say mine, you get it. Okay? We mask a lot. I'm gonna step on this platform. We mask a lot because we have to put up face. We have to do what we have to do. We got to make some shake. We got to take care of this one and that one. We got to go to work. We don't have time to deal. So we tell ourselves, we don't have time to deal with these emotions. We don't need people to look at us like we're weak or incapable, right? These are the things we tell ourselves. So we just keep on moving. I ain't got time to be over here crying and pouting and doing this and doing that. I got to make some shake. But a lot of times we're masking. We're not dealing with, and we're not taking care of ourselves. And and it can be cultural. It can definitely be cultural. And this is not to say anything bad about any other culture, but I know mine. And for my culture, it was like, get in here and do what you need to do. We ain't got time to cry. We ain't got time to pout about this. Okay, so what's next? And poor men had it bad. They can't even show emotion, right? But I think that's going to take me off somewhere else, so I'm going to come back. But yeah, you feel like you have no choice. A lot of us feel like we don't have a choice. We got to show face. We got to do what we got to do. Some other people of different cultures may have the luxury of doing that. And sometimes I do call it a luxury. We don't have the luxury to just sit at home and cry about it. Get your ass up and go to work. That's just what it is, right? Okay, let me come back, because that's a real thing. And if you feel me, let me know you feel me. Let me know you feel me. Don't let me feel like I'm just talking to myself over here. Okay, thank you. Because, man, oh, absolutely. I feel like somebody asked about a miscarriage causing anxiety. Thank you all for feeling this. I feel like any health issue can cause you to feel anxious. So definitely, if you had a miscarriage, there's a fear set up there, that's a fear. So absolutely, you can feel anxious. Zuki, you feel me on a spiritual level? Okay, Zuki. But yes, let me get back on this, y'all, because listen, we can mask a lot of this stuff, and it could be there, but we have to do what we have to do, so we don't have time to sit and play with these feelings. And I think I've been told that before. We ain't got time to just be playing in these feelings. What does that teach us? Especially when you're told something like that very young, it teaches you not to even acknowledge it. And it just piles up. And then when you do feel it intensely, you feel like something's wrong with you. You suppress. You feel like something is wrong with you. Oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. No, baby, you're overwhelmed and you've never spent time with these emotions. So let's feel that in this session today. That's what I will tell my clients. Let that out. Let's feel it. Let's deal with some of this. Okay, good. It is a pressure cooker. Because, baby, and when that top blows, that's when you really think you ain't out there. And I don't like saying the word crazy, but we know that's what we say. Oh, she crazy. You feel that way, but no, it doesn't mean that at all. It means, baby, you haven't dealt with that stuff because you've been masking, you've been putting on this little face for whoever. You've been performing and doing what you need to do because you learned along the way that it's not safe to express those feelings. So when it comes up, it's like, oh, what's wrong with me? Nothing. You're being human. And if you don't deal with your stuff, Lindsay, when you don't deal with your stuff, it'll come back and it'll deal with you. And it's usually in the most inopportune time. So you better start dealing with it. Take the time to deal. All right. Again, y'all, keep liking, keep commenting. I appreciate you. I want to make sure I'm giving you what you need. And I love that you all are communicating with each other on here. So keep doing that, class. So we talked about social anxiety. One of the key takeaways, social anxiety isn't just shyness. It's not that. It's not just that. It is an intense fear of being negatively evaluated. And it interferes with your daily life. Okay? So key takeaway for that. What if you're uncooperative and don't listen to your wonderful therapist and you're not journaling? I would say, who's this? Miss Williams. I would say start journaling. What is the resistance? Ask yourself, why am I so resistant to this change? A lot of times people are resistant because this is all they know. And if they change this, it's scary to change, for one. It's very scary to change. But if I change this, who am I now? Because although it might be chaotic, it may be dysfunctional, I know this version of me. I know this one. And if I change that, who am I then? So, Ms. Williams, I would suggest listen to your therapist. Journal, talk it out, write it out, face that fear. It is scary. It is. But face that fear because it will definitely help. User 508. You're learning how to ground yourself. Awesome. Awesome. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And you have to deal with that feeling. Absolutely. Most of us are. A lot of our lives are functioning in chaos. And it's almost like a challenge. Like you're challenging me to change. Yes, I am. But you really take it as a personal attack because you don't know who you are going to be on the other side of that change. Even if you express out your mouth you want the change, there still could be a fear of who am I going to be on the other side of that change? I don't know that person. You know what I'm saying? That's some real stuff. But it can be dealt with and it can be talked out, and you have to go through those emotions and deal with your stuff. So that was social anxiety. Did everybody get that key takeaway? Social anxiety isn't just shyness. It is an intense fear of being negatively evaluated. Okay, so we're going to move over to phobias. There's so many phobias. There are so many phobias that I'm just going to speak on a couple of them. But phobias is that extreme fear anxiety. So if you want to put like phobias, extreme fear anxiety, that's what that is. Okay. And what is it? It's intense, irrational fear of a specific object or situation. It's a chaotic time in general for our country. MJ. Yes. But that's not tonight's lesson because I want to get into that. But absolutely, that's what it feels like, for real. And it's pitiful. It's sad. Heights. Come on, Jayla. Come on, keep me on track. Come on, Jayla. The freeway for you. We're talking about phobias. The extreme fear anxiety. So common phobias, I'm going to list a couple of these. Well, Jayla just said one. Heights. That's acrophobia. The fear of flying. Avivophobia. The small spaces, heights and snakes. Small spaces, claustrophobia. Public speaking, we know that's a big one for a lot of people. And those symptoms are usually panic attacks, sweating, nausea, and avoiding the feared object. That's basically what that is. There are other criteria, like I said, that you will have to meet in order to be diagnosed with the phobia, to clinically diagnose with that. But phobias, just the takeaway for this part, because what time is it? Yeah. The phobias are irrational. It's an irrational fear, but it feels very real for a person. Like very, very real when you're experiencing them. To the country I have had to do. Oh my gosh, girl. Now that, I don't know if I have a clinically diagnosed phobia of that, but yeah, I would be scared too. I'm happy. I'm gonna tell you what I'm afraid of, if y'all want to know. I don't think it's a phobia for real, clinically speaking, but I'm afraid of birds. I don't want a bird around me. I don't know what that is. A bird? Like, Highway tunnels. You know, some people are afraid of, really have a phobia for bridges too. Not just a little nervous feeling, but like intense fear of bridges. Okay, so that is phobia. The takeaway. You have a friend who's afraid of birds? Yeah, girl. And bees. Oh, I love bees. Bees mean if they come around you, you're vibrating at a high vibration. But anyway, that's another subject, I guess. We're good on that. Okay, that's phobia, irrational fear, and it's very real to a person. Now, the other, is this my last one? I have two more that I want to go over. Obsessive compulsive disorder. So I mentioned this the first week, I think. I just kind of named some anxieties. But OCD. This is the what if I don't do this anxiety. OCD. What if I don't do this anxiety? So what is it? Obsessive thoughts with compulsive actions to help reduce your anxiety. OCD. The symptoms, usually unwanted thoughts. Did I lock the door? What if something bad happens? Then you have the compulsion. So you have to have both of them. That's the repeated behavior. You're doing all the checking. You're doing all the counting. You're doing sometimes excessive cleaning. A lot of people associate OCD with excessive cleaning and organizing and think, that's OCD. Oh, my OCD. Not necessarily. There are a lot of things. Checking the door is a big one. Checking the lock, opening and closing the door. You got to keep open. And it's usually a cycle. You get trapped in this cycle and you have to do it a certain number of times, whatever you've, come up with that makes you feel comfortable. But it's an attempt to reduce the anxiety. That's what OCD is. You're doing this thing because of the thought that won't go away. So now you're compelled to keep doing this thing until this anxiety about not doing the thing goes down. Thank you all for sharing that. Checking the door. So an example, and I think we get it, but I wrote my example down, so I want to put it on here. Repeatedly wash your hands for hours to avoid germs, even when it's unnecessary. That is one example. So OCD isn't, again, just about being neat, but it's about the need to feel in control, because you don't feel like you're in control, and that isn't in a negative way. You're trying to gain control because you're feeling out of control, basically. And you're out of control because you haven't done these things. But if I do this thing, I get my control back. I'm bringing myself back down. Makes sense? Okay. So that in a nutshell now, is OCD. And that's like, it's not, some people might say they get in the bed, they shut everything down at home, right? Then they get in the bed and they're like, oh, did I lock the door? And it's like, I think I locked the door. That's it. No, OCD, if you had that thought, did I lock the door? Immediately, it's not you going down. And then you might go down, lock it, go back upstairs. Yes, intrusive, absolutely. You go back upstairs and then you go back down. And you keep doing it. And you have to do it until you don't feel as stressed about it. Yes, it almost hurts if you don't. It's like you're compelled. That's the compulsion. You have to do the behavior. You have to. And it's so much broader. Absolutely. It is so much broader. It's not just, I like to keep things in a certain way, or I'm straightening up somebody's picture when I walk in their house because I have OCD. No, it's way deeper than that. And yes, you can have the intrusive thoughts. Absolutely, Zuki. But it doesn't feel as good. Even if you ask someone else to do it for you because you can't, it doesn't feel as good. It really doesn't meet that need because you're compelled to have to do it yourself. Now, that may be a way to get around for some people, but a lot of people, you have to do it yourself. Okay, now I want to move to PTSD, and then I want to play a game and see if you all got the information, and then we can wrap. So PTSD, we know, is post-traumatic stress disorder. That is the past trauma anxiety. Okay, the past trauma anxiety. It's anxiety that is triggered by past traumatic events. It could be abuse. It could be war. It could be an accident. Anything that you have found to be traumatic for you. And let me say this about trauma too. I'm not teaching on trauma right now, but I want to speak to this because some people think that trauma has to be, I don't know what'll get me, kicked out of here, but sexual, sexual. Some people think, I'm trying not to get kicked out. Some people think trauma has to be that, like a personal violation. Thank you, SA. That's what I gotta do. I'm trying to keep the rules. But it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't. Yeah, there are big T's and little T's. And guess what? What I find traumatic, you may not find traumatic. So everybody is different. Everybody's experience is different. We know that. But even some of the ways they define a situation or receive a situation or experience a situation is different. And it doesn't always have to be like a personal violation. It could be anything. It could be something that someone goes through and you look at it and like, well, shoot, that was an easy life for you. But that was traumatic for them. Okay? So, PTSD is the past trauma anxiety. It's the anxiety that's triggered from past traumatic events, symptoms. And you all probably already know this. You can start typing them in the chat because I'm sure most of us have heard of PTSD and some of the symptoms of PTSD. The flashbacks, the nightmares, the intrusive memories, right? People will avoid places. Come on. And nightmares. We'll avoid places. We'll avoid people. We'll avoid things that remind us of that trauma. Oh, Lynn. Yeah. That can definitely cause it. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all see what Lynn had. But yeah, people will try to avoid all of these things. I'm so sorry. Anything that will remind you of that trauma. If it's a person, if it's a place, like I don't even want to go down that street anymore because when I was 10 years old, I remember that happening on that street and they will go a whole different way to avoid that. Or I pulled up to the McDonald's and I saw something happen. It didn't even happen to them. They saw something happen where somebody was unalived and now that person just cannot go to a McDonald's. They will avoid a McDonald's altogether. You know, this is PTSD. What is happening? Hold on, guys. I gotta prove that I'm a human again. This right here, I don't understand. I don't understand why it makes me prove I'm a human. Let's keep liking the video. I mean, liking the live. I think that the engagement, I think it might be what they're looking at. I don't know. Avoid listening to music late at night before going to bed. Oh, and I'm happy PTSD led to depression. That can happen for sure. It can be a loop. Not everybody experiences that, but that can definitely happen to a lot of people. Because why not? You become sad that you're always feeling this way. And not just sad, I'm talking about for real depression. It can happen in that cycle. It becomes a loop. You have to deal with that. Yeah, if you all can just tap the screen so that this thing does not make me prove that I'm a human. Like, how does computer or gadget gonna make me prove I'm a human? Anyway, so another symptom of PTSD, feeling on edge, very hypervigilant, very jumpy reactions. Ooh. That earthquake, and now every time you get scared, yeah. Loud noises can cause, especially when something happened with that. When something happened with that, your brain processes it a certain way. Right? And then once your brain processes it that way, it's stored in that memory of fear. And next time you encounter that situation, thank you, Deborah. Next time you encounter that situation, now your brain is telling you, hey, remember last time? Remember what happened? And then Amy shows up. And Amy is in effect because she's trying to protect you. She's trying to alert you. But that's coming from that trauma memory, that fear memory. So again, the hypervigilance, the jumpy reactions, the emotional numbness is another one. When you don't feel anything, you feel like you don't feel anything, right? You have trouble experiencing and feeling joy. That can be another symptom. It's not talked about a whole lot, but that is definitely that numb. That's definitely a feeling or a symptom of PTSD for some people. You just feel numb. And a lot of that, I believe, thank you. A lot of that, I believe, comes from you're trying to care for self, right? You're trying to soothe and self-soothe. So you block off emotions because you don't want to feel those unwelcomed emotions. So you try to numb yourself. Your body and your mind tries to protect itself and tries to cope. And that's a part of the defense, the coping, is to numb yourself so you don't feel those negative emotions. But the problem with numbing is that it numbs across the board. And now you have a hard time even experiencing joy. So we got to deal with the stuff. Yes. After your mom passed. Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Nia. But yeah. Okay, so we have to deal with the stuff. Now, numbing might be a go-to and it may be a symptom, but we have to deal with that because numbing will numb you across the board and you will have a hard time experiencing joy. Okay? All right, key takeaway for PTSD. I know you didn't. I know you didn't. That's your mind and your body's way of trying to protect you, but it's time to deal with it if you haven't already. Miss Nia, I'm speaking to you. Key takeaway. I'm gonna get my words together. For PTSD, that PTSD is your brain's way of staying on high alert after experiencing a trauma. That's your key takeaway. Okay? So if you're taking notes, keep your notes. You're going to need this. All right. One thing I do want to say to you all is that anxiety affects people differently. Everybody experiences it in different ways. Your symptoms may not be like your neighbor's symptoms, but it is real. It's not just being nervous. It's a real deal thing. Okay? And we have to understand it like that. This is real. This is not something you can just say, oh, just calm down. That's not going to work. That's not going to work for a lot of people. And that, in fact, it's very frustrating for that person who's experiencing those symptoms. Okay? So what I want to do now, I'm going to take a breath. Give me a second. Okay? Let me see how we can play this game real quick. Load this. Everybody's following along. Everything is good. Y'all give me some likes or comments or talk amongst yourselves as you would in a classroom, right? When the teacher turn away. Y'all go and talk to each other. Thank you. Okay, good. So again, anxiety does not mean weakness, y'all. Any of these that I named, these are just some of the common anxiety diagnoses. It does not mean weakness. That is your brain's way of trying to keep you safe, but it's working overtime. Hey, Lynn, what you say? Oh, girl. Well, I'm glad it's good. But yeah, anxiety is not a weakness. It is your brain's way of working overtime to protect you, but she's working overtime. And we got to learn how to calm her down. Ashanti, question? And I want to say this while you get your question together. If you all do have questions for me that you may not want to share in the chat, that's okay. I do have office hours on Fridays from 1 to 3 my time, which is Eastern Standard. Just DM me. If you have a question and you want to know something else, DM me. I will be open and available during those times to communicate with you. Okay? Not a problem at all. I will not provide therapy because, no, I'm not your therapist. But if you are in Georgia, any city in Georgia, and you need a therapist, feel free to look us up. You know, it may not be me, it may be one of my other therapists, but we do have a practice in Georgia if you need that. Or if you just need help finding a therapist, you can DM me and we can talk about that. Okay? I hope that helps. So I want to play Name That Anxiety. You ready? I know I'm kind of corny, whatever. But we're going to play it. Let me know if y'all in. Let's do it like this. Can I pull up some guests and we play Name That Anxiety? If y'all are okay with that, let me see some thumbs up in the chat. Okay, we got one. Come on, yes. Okay. Oh, let me try to. Now listen, I told y'all. Oh goodness, how do I do it? Do I just invite y'all? I wanted to do the thing where I can put. Hold on, y'all. I told y'all I really don't know how to do this thing. Interact. Is it interact? And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do poll either. I'm getting the boys ready for bed. Okay, Jayla. Good evening. We're done. It's okay. All right. I'm just going to, if it's okay, I'm gonna start going down this list and inviting people. If you want to come on, they can add themselves. Okay, can they? Just add yourself if you can, y'all. But I'm gonna go through here and just start inviting people. And if you get the invite and you want to come on, then come on. If you want to, I think I saw this name say yeah, and this name say, oh, I got people coming. I want it to be like a grid. How do they do that? And the boxes should open. I don't want to be the big person on the screen. I really wish we had a grid. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I get. Oh, we got some more people coming. Hey, Alyssa. So I
Hey.
had 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody? Okay, come on. Who else? I don't know how many people I can get. I would love to be able to have like the box where you have a bunch of people, but I don't know. I don't know how to do that. So I think we're gonna stop with who we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Y'all ready? Let's play. So, and you can just scream it out. I don't care who says what, because I don't have it set up. Okay. But this is Name That Anxiety. So what I'm gonna do is I will read off a scenario. I'll read off the scenario and I will give you a few minutes to name what anxiety that is. Okay? Y'all get it? Make
Okay,
sense?
all right, let's go.
Okay. It's easy. All right. Scenario number one, and I'll give you the options. Maya constantly worries about things. Her grades, her future, her relationships, even when everything is going well. She can't sleep because of all these racing thoughts. Name that anxiety.
Generalized.
Generalized.
Generalized
Look, y'all
anxiety
didn't
disorder.
even give me a chance to name one. Come on. Oh, and thank you, chat. Thank you, chat, for answering. That is generalized. Absolutely. All right. David, he was walking in a shopping mall when he suddenly felt like he couldn't breathe. His heart started racing. He got dizzy. He thought he was about to die. Name.
Panic
Panic
attack.
attack. Panic attack.
Duh. Y'all so smart. All right. Alicia. Every time Alicia meets new people, y'all want to go ahead and interrupt me?
We'll wait.
Social.
Social anxiety disorder.
Okay, very good. Jordan checks his doors and locks at least 10 times before bed.
OCD.
OCD.
This is too easy. Okay, y'all already know it. Ever since Alex survived a car accident,
PSD.
I didn't even have to finish. These are so simple. Oh my gosh. Emma, y'all know this, is terrified of spiders.
Phobias.
Arachnophobia.
Yep, that's specific too. Okay. That's right. Y'all got it right. Look, who said they can't type fast enough? But you all got it. Y'all are just so intelligent. I love this class that I have. Y'all so smart. You
We love
smart.
you.
You say what now? Who that?
We love you.
I love y'all too, man. That's so nice. No, y'all so smart. What's the thing? I was trying to say like the movie. You is smart.
You is kind.
Right?
You is
You is
important.
perfect. Okay, thank y'all. Let me see. Do I have another game since y'all still up? Because that was my game, but y'all, oh my God, it's over. Because y'all got it. So that means the information was helpful and it was easy to grasp, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Y'all
Yes,
the
it
bomb.
was.
Y'all the bomb. I don't know if I said the bomb, but I'm still old, so y'all the bomb. So what I want to do, and y'all can, the panel that's up here, I really wanted to send you all like a quiz of sorts, and so everybody can answer this. I want to know if you would like for me to email it to you and you all do it yourself. Because again, it's more like an assessment for you to find out more about yourself. I'm not providing therapy. I got to make sure I keep saying that. but it's something that could be helpful that you may find helpful. What you
Yeah,
all?
absolutely.
I think emails.
Okay. So what I'm asking the class then to just go and DM me your email address, whichever email you want me to use, and I will email you this questionnaire that I have. Again, it's for you to check off and see where you are, what you're experiencing, especially after learning some more about these diagnoses. It might clear up some things for you, or it might give you something to go to your provider and talk about. Sounds good?
Hmm.
I appreciate y'all. Somebody sounds so calm. Okay. Since y'all are here, we got a few minutes. Do you want to do an exercise, a mindfulness exercise? Or we can wrap up.
Yes.
Yes, for the
I'm
mindfulness.
down.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to read this off. I'm going to scoot it over. This one is a little bit longer than the breathing one, but I want everybody posted as a link. Miss Mia, I'll try to do that. This is called progressive muscle relaxation. Have you all heard of that one?
Oh yeah, I love to do that.
You like that one? Me too. I'm gonna read it off. I won't do it with you this time. But what we're doing is learning how to relax our body and parts, paying attention to where we are finding tension. We'll tighten that up and then we'll release the tension. So if you would sit comfortably wherever you are, sit or lie comfortably. And if you don't want to do this, class is essentially over. So anybody who wants to leave, feel free to leave. But those who are staying, let's get into it.
Okay. I'm sitting.
Everybody
Comfortable.
comfortable? All right. So I'll read this off. We're going to travel up your entire body from your feet to your head. We're going to bring awareness to each muscle group. We're going to first tense the muscle wherever it is, and then we're going to relax it. We're going to tense it again and relax it. As you tense your muscles, please do not strain or exert yourself. Just notice the tension. Gently squeezing it, then harder. Then I want you to hold it, and then you're going to release all the tension, let it go fully. So if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. Allow yourself to come to a place of stillness, releasing any tension you're wearing. Let the floor or the seat support you fully. Okay? Begin to notice the in and out rhythm of your breath. Just notice. Notice your breath, your belly or your chest rising and falling softly as you inhale and exhale gently. In, out, in, out. There's no need to force or control your breathing, just let it happen naturally. When you're breathing in a steady rhythm, bring your attention to your feet and your toes. Notice any tension that may be there. Now I want you to create more tension by gently scrunching your toes and contracting the soles of your feet. Squeeze them hard without any discomfort, but just squeeze them. Hold that for a few more seconds. Now release and let go of everything. Breathe deeply in, out. Now notice the difference between the tension and the relaxation just of your feet. Enjoy that relaxation. Now tense them again, your feet. Hold it and release. Notice the relaxation. Just let everything go and breathe. Now I want you to bring your attention to your lower legs, your calf muscles. Notice any tension that may already be there. Now create more tension by gently contracting your muscles in your lower legs. You may do this by pressing on your tiptoes. You can feel that muscle contracting. Squeeze it hard. Now release. Breathe deeply. Notice the difference between the tension and the relaxation. Enjoy the relaxation. Tense your calves one more time. Release. Breathe. Enjoy the relaxation. Now bring your attention to your thighs. Notice if there's already any tension. Create more tension by squeezing your butt real tight. Trying to hold it in. Hold it. Now release. Breathe. Keep going. Notice the relaxation. Know that. Now we're going to tense it again. Tighten up. Tight. Hold it. Now release. Breathe. Notice the difference from the tension and the relaxation. Now I want you to, your arms, hold your arms out in front of you. Squeeze your fist. Tighten up everything like a little toddler who's about to have a fit. Feel all of that tension from your fist all the way up to your shoulders. And you can scrunch them up if you want. Hold that. And let it go. Release. Let everything out. Notice the difference between the tension and the relaxation. Next, we're going to do your face. Just scrunch your face up. It's tight, like you smell something bad. Really tight. Hold it. And release. Oh, Lord. Release and let it go. You all do that one more time. Tightening your face, your nose, scrunch your nose up like you smell something. Hold it really tight. Now release. Exhale, let it go. Notice the difference in the tension and the relaxation. Now last, I want you to take one deep breath in, slowly through your nose into your abdomen. Hold it. Now exhale, letting go of any remaining tension. Okay? That's that practice. That's the end of it. Did you all notice any tension that was there that you probably hadn't paid attention to? Or are you feeling more relaxed? Feedback.
Normally,
Really relaxed.
Okay, good. Was that Leisha?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody else? Somebody put my neck.
The place I felt tension more is on the face, for my face.
That's
Yeah, so I released. Yeah, I released it. Yes, well, I could feel the relaxation.
it's more relaxed now, Sarah.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So that do that often. This is a progressive muscle relaxation. Sometimes we can notice afterwards, oh, I must hold tension in my face. Maybe my jaws. I need to learn how to check in every now and then to release that.
when I was younger, I used to do it all the time because this teacher taught us in like sometime in high school, and I took it with me throughout my life. But when I got in my 40s and the anxiety hit, it was so much harder to do it, even though I've been doing it for years. It's like I just could not relax the muscles. It was my breathing was shallower. It was just really, really hard to control it at that time when I was having anxiety.
And it's so it's messed up. There's no clinical way to say this. It's messed up that when you need it the most, it's so hard to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get into the practice of doing it, just even on a regular day, that's just part of our routine. We can access it a little bit easier. And it may take talking to yourself, like convincing yourself, like, no, we're doing this. I need this. This is what I want. This is going to help me. And just taking your time with it. Don't judge yourself, Ashanti. Don't judge yourself for not being able to do it. Just keep trying.
Mm-hmm.
Don't beat yourself up. That's what anxiety does, okay? That's her job. Like you can't do that's her job. She's on her job. Now I need you to okay. You gotta be on yours.
Right.
So, but she can't win. We're not gonna let her.
Right.
That part.
Just keep practicing.
Thank you. That was excellent. Loved it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, y'all. Who is that said anxiety needs to take a break? She does, baby break.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna try to ride this thing on out, and we gonna fight back every time. Okay, speak to what you need. Share with people that love you and that you love. You're welcome, Jayla. Share with them what you need. Don't be afraid to say, "Hey, I need a moment," or "I'm gonna get back to you," or "Let me just go in here and breathe." Baby, I come in this room, my office. I have all my sessions in here, but every now and then I gotta come sit on my floor in front of my singing bowls and just have a moment. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You gotta take care of yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's it, y'all.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Y'all,
you.
y'all like that? That was good.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am.
It sounds
Righty. So y'all go have a stress-free evening. Do something tonight to help you relax.
I was listening because of my daughter. My daughter had panic.
Turn it
So,
down.
so that was why I started, when I heard panic, I decided to listen. I stopped to listen. And it's been very educating. Thank you.
I'm glad. Keep coming back. I have sessions. Okay, I'm sorry. I do this every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard. Thank you all for coming. Everybody that came. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, and it's usually a different topic or a different part of anxiety for this series. Um, I have this was week 3, so we have 8 weeks. We're doing 8 weeks total. This was 3, so we're almost halfway there. I'll probably come back and do something else later, but feel free to join me.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm gonna drop.
All right, go ahead. Thank y'all. I appreciate you all for coming.
I'm trying to. Okay, there we go.
You want me to do it? Oh,
I
okay.
got it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
I'm
it.
trying to drop too.
Let me see. I can do it. Okay. All right. Again, thank you everybody that came on. Thank you if you were participating in the chat. I hope you found it to be very relaxing. Use these skills, use these techniques to help manage your stress, to help you just find a peace or a moment of calm around everything that's going on in this world. Sometimes you just need to take your moment. We're going to fight back because what I told Ashanti, anxiety is doing her job, but we got to fight back. So take these skills, take these tools and use them. Okay, guys? Y'all have a good one. I'll see you next Tuesday. All right. Bye-bye.